Hello everybody, welcome back to my modern homestead. For those of you who do not know, I'm Janet and I am so excited to have you here today. Guys, this is a very special episode of my modern homestead today. I have a special guest coming and I'm so excited. She's running a little bit late, she's not here yet, so I'm going to go ahead and get things started just so that we don't spend so much time on the boring stuff. You guys, it's a special day, I'm telling you, and it has something to do with this book, but I'm not going to tell you anything else for right now. We'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to mix up this dough, but I'm not going to tell you what we're doing with it just yet. Hopefully from the title you haven't guessed. Pardon Alyssa, she has the hiccups back there. Okay. I need to start with my yeast. Here in the bowl I have 1 1/4 cup of warm water, and to that I'm going to add the yeast. This is 3 tablespoons of yeast and sugar. This is 2 tablespoons of sugar. Let me just mix that up. The sugar just helps to activate the yeast. And we'll just let this sit while we get the other ingredients going. For this next part, we need 3 to 3.5 cups of flour. I thought I put the sugar in the wrong place. I'm just going to add a tablespoon or a teaspoon? Sorry, let me look at my recipe. A teaspoon of salt into the flour. There is about 2 cups. I'll grab another spoon. Just mix that around. Okay. Now to our yeast mixture, I'm going to add our oil if it will fit. Let's see, it's already getting bubbly. So just add the oil right in. And then we're going to put this into our mixing bowl with the flour. Pardon my flour, I spilled it and I just left it because we're going to need it. Right into there. And then for this, we're going to mix it, and then we'll add the flour 1/2 cup at a time until the consistency looks right. Oops. So it was that 1 cup? Can't remember. Just add another 1/2 cup and just keep stirring until you can't stir anymore. I've made this dough several times. I've never not been able to stir it before I need it. Nancy's GPS is giving her trouble. It's not bringing her here. So I'm going to go ahead and knead this out. I've got most of the flour mixed in. It depends on the weather, guys, whether you need all of it or not. I'm just going to knead it a little bit until it starts springing back. And when it springs back, like when you mash it and it starts coming up, see, it's just about there. So I'm going to go ahead and just knead it a few more times. And then I'm going to let it rise. Just going to put it in a ball and leave it right here on the counter. I'm going to dump out this extra flour and just turn the bowl over it for about 5 minutes and let it rise. Hey guys, it's Nancy. She made it.
I made it.
I didn't have to go rescue you.
Well, I was a little worried I was getting lost in banjo country, but that's all right.
Truth is, she was. That's where we live.
That's right.
So, Nancy.
Yes.
Why is today so special?
Today is so special because my book, Lost in the System, is available in stores today.
Yay! Today is launch day of her
Today is
first
launch day.
published
Yes.
first published book that's available in
Stores. Traditionally published is the fancy term for that.
See, she
Yes.
knows the fancy words. I don't. That's why she's here.
That's right.
She's
That's
going to
right.
help us. Now, today's recipe, I got the inspiration for it from her book.
Yes.
So, I'm going to let Nancy read in it. My mouth's not working.
Excerpts.
You guys have been around long enough to know my mouth doesn't work sometimes. So anyway,
Yes.
Go ahead, Nancy, because our dough is almost ready.
All right. So the book Lost in the System is a teensy bit complicated when you try to explain it, but it's really cool as well. So we have Smullian, who is a 24th century con artist, and he's been sentenced to what they in the 24th century call life modification therapy. So what that means is they take like his essence and put it in the body of a different 21st century person. And in the process, he has gotten sucked into this mystery of a missing teenage boy. And on top of it all, he has started to develop a crush on the missing boy's sister, Lydia. So at this scene where pizza comes in, he and Lydia have been out hanging up signs and going to stores and just seeing if people have seen her brother, David. And so they had another person coming along with them, David's friend Madison. So I'm just going to pick up, it says, I dropped Mads at home once again, I'm alone with Lydia. I want to hold on to my time with her as long as possible. It's completely selfish. There's so much on her mind, but after today, I'll be gone. I won't see her ever again. It kills me to admit it. I want more of her. Have you eaten today? A little. Mrs. Granger brought over some sweet rolls. Very thoughtful of her, although I haven't really been that hungry. You should eat whether you want to or not. I bet you're not sleeping well. You need the energy and stuff. Ugh, and stuff? Really? He's an English teacher. I'm sure he could come up with something more sophisticated than stuff. Let me buy you supper before you head home. Okay. I'm not ready to go back there anyway. It's too empty, too quiet without David. Don't you have friends or church people coming by? Well, most of my friends graduated, moved away. Those who are still here live way out beachside. I work so much, and we really haven't been able to get connected in a church. David won't go without me. Sounds lonely. I'm too tired to notice, she says blithely. How does she stay so positive? We hit up a local pizza place called Al's. It's too late for the lunch crowd and too early for the dinner rush, so we have the place to ourselves. Normally, I would hate the quiet, but I crave the chance to be alone with her, even if she thinks she's hanging out with a chubby English teacher. What do you like, I ask. A shy smile crosses her face. A little bit of everything. Dad used to call it garbage pizza, but I'll eat whatever. A woman after my own heart. I mean it. Food, one more thing we have in common. The waitress stops by and I order a large with everything and a couple of Cokes. Lydia picks at her food at first, but once she has a few bites, she exclaims, I'm ravenous. I didn't know how hungry I was. Then she really tucks in. Between bites, all of her pent-up worries come tumbling out.
Yay, thank you, Nancy. So how did you decide to do pizza in that scene?
Pizza's my favorite. When I was a little girl, my father was actually stationed in Italy, so we lived in Italy. And, you know, I don't have a ton of memories from that age, but there was a pizza place we would go to called Tony's. And it was super cool because he had all the toppings like in, you know, glass. So you could just go up and point out the things that you wanted. And he made like individual pizzas. And I would always get prosciutto. My favorite's ham. And then he had, you know, the big brick oven with the fire and he'd slide it in like you see. It was amazing. And pizza's just something I always love in all its forms. I am always searching for that flavor I remember from childhood. But I will eat any form of pizza. I could eat pizza multiple times a week. Wouldn't be a problem at all.
So see, she's a friend after my own heart.
Right, right.
I do wish I had known that. We could have done that today.
And the other reason, I mean, I had food in that scene at all, though, was just the way that food has a way of opening people up and, you know, because she starts to share the fears that are on her heart while they're eating.
Exactly.
And that happens a lot when you're at the table sharing food.
That's what I love about church dinners.
Yes.
Or even just inviting new people over from
Yes.
church or people you don't know really well for that very reason.
Yes.
So I'm glad you're adventurous, Nancy.
Well, and we will be truthful here. My husband is the cook, not me. So Janet's going to have to be very patient with me if I help. I may just watch.
Well, too, I'm going to do this part because it involves this flower, and I don't want to ruin Nancy's shirt because
Very special.
This is her Lost in the System shirt that
That's
she
right.
designed just for her book. So
That's
exciting.
right. These are all the people that host Smullian when he's traveling about. So.
All right. So today, I hope I didn't ruin it. We are making pizza rolls.
Yum.
We're not doing actual pizza. I just wanted to do something a little bit different because most of us have already seen pizza. A lot of us have already seen this recipe, but not from us.
That's right.
So what I did was just halved our dough, and I'm going to roll it out into the best rectangle I can do. Doesn't have to be perfect, but try to make it around 10 by 12.
See, now when I was a kid, my mom had this Tupperware thing
Oh yeah.
that had like all the measurements on it. I shouldn't be talking to you. See, I'm already messing her up.
No, you're not.
Like my non-cooking genes are already affecting her.
No. But yeah, it measured it
My
for you. I know what you're
ears.
talking about. Garner's
Sorry,
here.
my son is in the background talking.
That's quite all right. Glad Garner's here. Garner and my son Jake are friends.
Yes.
So, now this is for the video. I'm not going to try to get this perfect. We just want to show you
Perfection's overrated.
an idea of what we're doing, so don't laugh
Yes.
at us. Bread's not really my thing either if you've been around here for a while. You already know that. So, this is close enough. Now, what we want to do, I learned this, Nancy, when I was researching this. We're going to kind of poke it with our fingers and brush it with olive oil. Do you know why?
Because it's delicious?
Well, yeah, but olive oil keeps it from getting soggy when all your ingredients are on it and you're cooking.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna pour a little bit. You want to brush? And I'll turn the oven on. Preheat it. Just brush it all the way across the surface.
This I can do.
See, it's easy. It doesn't hurt. Grab a spoon.
Is that good enough?
It is perfect. Now,
Will there be more brushing of things?
I know I probably need to brush my hair. Well, I don't want that in it.
No, so can I put it in the
Yes, you
sink?
put it in the sink. I forgot to put my hair up. Oops.
I just totally went all Ariel on you, by the way, when you mentioned brushing your hair with it.
Oh,
So
yeah, I didn't think about
it's a
that.
thingamabob. We could.
All right, so just like pizza, just spread your sauce around. And Nancy, I did not know you like prosciutto. I love prosciutto. But anyway, I bought pepperoni.
Pepperoni's lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, prosciutto is.
Mm,
I wouldn't expect you to get real prosciutto for me.
it's a celebration. Why not? It'll be fun.
That's true.
All right. So what I was going to say is we have turkey pepperoni and traditional pepperoni. Do you have a preference?
I do not.
All right.
Just don't tell Weight Watchers.
Calories,
We're not.
carbs, fat, none of it
It's a
matters on
celebration.
launch day.
That's
It
right.
doesn't count.
It doesn't matter on lunch day.
Does that look good to
I
you?
like this. I like this plant. That looks beautiful.
Awesome.
Did you make this or purchase this?
No, I purchased it
Okay.
straight from the jar.
Well, it looks all lovely and chunky and with interesting herbs. I wasn't sure.
This is one of my favorites, guys. This is Bertolli, but I also like the Classico. There's some good ones out there that are already jarred, so I'm not gonna spend, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna spend my time making it. All right, Nancy, you wanna do the pepperoni?
So are we using both? Or are we going to put one kind on this one and one kind on that one? Or are we going to have, let's go for chaos and anarchy.
Yes. Chaos describes us perfectly.
That's right.
It's funny when we talk because we can never stay on track. We talk about 10 different things at
we
one time.
do. Yes, and that's what makes our conversations lovely. Now, I don't know like how close you want me to put this together.
It doesn't
either.
matter, whatever. What's your fancy is good with me. Oh, guys, I forgot to tell you, when I did the dough, I meant to put in our herbs. I have a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, and a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. So when we have this all together, we'll just sprinkle it on top. Perfect.
I'm sorry, I like there to be room for sauce and cheese bites when you're eating it, so I don't like the meat all on top of each other.
That's a good idea, Nancy. And too, it keeps it from being so greasy. All right, so then we'll just take the cheese. Say when. I have more. Look, you don't get this figure by skimping on the cheese.
That's right.
For heaven's
this
sake.
is an eater-reader figure.
For real.
An eater-reader-writer figure, yes. Yeah, I say just put it on there. There we go.
Okay, here we go. You do the honors with Italian seasonings. And I'm just going to sprinkle garlic. Do you like garlic? Oh, I'm sorry. You probably don't like it on your hand.
It's fine. I do enjoy garlic, so no worries.
I like
there.
garlic too. Oh,
Again, that little girl in Italy, garlic's not an issue for me.
That's true.
It's probably where my love of bread came from also.
Oh, I bet they had good bread in Italy. Oh, I just dumped that like all right there. That's okay.
It's fine.
You didn't see a thing. All right. And one thing you don't know, well, I guess you do know because Nancy just told you, her husband is a great cook too.
He is.
And her brother-in-law. Her brother-in-law is a preacher. Her husband's my minister of music. So I like it when they invite us to eat because it's always going to be yummy.
Yes, it is. My husband, excellent cook, not a baker. And there is a difference in those two things.
Yes, there is a big difference because Alyssa likes to bake. Now, I've never done this with this dough, so we're just going to roll it as carefully as we can.
And I'm going to stay out of it.
And I'm going to need flour because it's... But one day, Bill's going to have to come down here. Bill's her husband.
Yes.
Because I want him to do that stuff. I don't even know what it's called. With that fish sauce and the carrots or whatever he did. He gave me the recipe, but there's no measurements, and I would mess it up, so I don't want to try it.
Are you talking? I'm not sure if you're referring to a curry. Is coconut soup?
Nope, it was some kind of salad or something. I don't know what it was, but it was good. Yeah.
Oh, he has a couple different things he makes, and I forget their names.
I'm trying to think. I know it had cucumbers, maybe carrots, maybe cabbage. But it had soy sauce and fish sauce. Oh, it was good. Sesame seeds. Y'all, we're just rolling these like cinnamon rolls. So we might be back in just a minute. Oh, okay, guys, cross your fingers. This is a little sticky and a little gooey. We're just going to lift this, maybe.
Perhaps.
It's stretchy. Here we go.
Like an eel. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm so excited. It looks yummy.
It's okay if you get pizza dough all over it. It's going, I mean, not pizza dough. What's this stuff? Pizza sauce. It's okay, because you're going to put sauce on it anyway. What we're going to do is stick this in the refrigerator, wash our hands, and I've got some questions for Nancy.
We're putting it in.
All right, Nancy, we did it.
Yay!
We didn't destroy our clothes.
No, and I'm going to point out that the camera woman has been stealing pepperoni.
Yep.
So
if we don't have
she doesn't
pepperoni for
get
the second one.
That's right. It's all on her.
And no rolls for you, Missy.
Yes. So why are we putting this in the fridge?
I was just about to say thank you. We are putting this in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes just to let it firm up a little bit so that it's easier to cut. Because if we cut this right now, it's going to be a disaster. It may be a disaster anyway, but at least we will have tried.
So we cut it before we bake it?
Yes. We're going to cut it into rolls like cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
Cookies, cinnamon rolls. So
Yeah.
unless we just, give up, and it might just turn out like this. I'm teasing. We're cutting it. All right, guys, we're turning this into an experiment. I said, what if we just left it in one big roll? So we're doing the second one, and we're not going to cut this one.
We'll cut it after.
Yeah, not until it's done anyway. Okay, so Nancy.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you learn that you loved writing?
It's interesting. It wasn't so much the writing. I've told this story a couple times, but when I was a little girl, I was always lost in my imagination, like world building and creating and going on all these adventures and stuff. And when I would do that, my parents would even have a hard time like getting my attention. Like they'd be talking to me and I was just gone. And my dad called it cruising Venus. Oh, Nancy's cruising Venus again. She's, and really that was the beginning of me writing, because I write science fiction, I write fantasy, so I was just dreaming up all these worlds and these characters and these people. And then when I got older, it was like, oh, it's writing. I'm like, I feel like I still get to cruise Venus, even if that's not socially acceptable, but because it's called writing, it's perfectly okay for me at my age to still be totally lost in my imagination. So I would say I was a world builder before I was a writer.
Melissa used to be like that. She would come up with the most creative stories, and for a while she would write them down, but she grew out of it. That's very neat. So we've kind of hinted around, but was Lost actually your first book, or Lost in the System your first book?
It actually was not my first book. My first book was, and you happen to have it here because you're so sweet, was Escape the Amos. My older son, who was like 11 or 12 at the time, asked me to write him an allegory, which is a story that has a deeper meaning, like say the Narnian Chronicles has a deeper spiritual meaning. He wanted me to write him an allegory with aliens, lasers, and flying cars. So I did. And that is Escape the Amos, which you can also find if you look me up online. It's more of a middle grade book, but I find a lot of adults like it.
I like it.
And at the time I wrote it, I did not anticipate where the world and society would be right now. And it really has a great commentary on societal injustice and oppression of people groups and things like that, which weren't planned, but like really fit in with the struggles we have in our society right now. So
God knew it. God knew what was going to happen.
He knew. That's right.
I'm not measuring this, I'm just dumping.
It's the experiment one.
That's
you can
right.
do what you want.
I've already dumped my spoon.
It's right here.
Oh. I had a bowl already poured out. I'm sorry, I was
Two
listening.
blondes in the kitchen.
I was listening to her. I wasn't paying attention. And you guys, I don't read science fiction, but I really like Nancy's books. They're really good. It's hard to put down. I think when you gave me Lost in the System, I read it without putting it down. I mean, I might have gotten up to do things here and there, but I read it straight through.
Right. I appreciate you saying that.
I really liked it. So you guys check it out.
Well, I try to write stories that speak to struggles people have. So I think that even if you're not a science fiction reader, you can relate to the struggles that are happening on.
And I think that's the magic of reading. We have our own problems, but we can get lost in other people's problems.
That's right.
Yeah. So, since this is a food video,
Yes.
you told us about the Italy and how you decided to use the pizza scene. What
Right.
about, how do you come up with your ideas for the other food scenes?
Well, this goes back to my husband, who's, I don't know if you've ever heard of the 5 love languages, but I've decided there's actually 6, and food is a love language. I think that Janet also speaks in the love language of food, but my husband definitely does. And I remember him telling me how much he remembered a scene from the Chronicles of Narnia, by the way, where this person's waking up to the smell of sausage and these other things cooking, and how when he read that scene stuck out in his mind. And while I do like eating, food scenes never like stick out in my mind. And so I always, when I write, try to include food scenes for my husband and people like him.
Aww.
So I always try to make sure I've got 1 or 2 scenes where I have a meal. the pizza scene I read was not as deeply described as a couple other places where Smullian's describing a cheeseburger and other things, but I always try to have a deep food scene for the foodies out there, like this thing. Yes.
I love it. I didn't know that part. This is new to me.
Yeah, I
That's
always
really
try
neat.
to remember that.
Aw.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the video, well, you don't have to wait till the end, but in the description box, I'm going to actually put the links to find Nancy's books.
Yes.
But Nancy does not only write books, she also has a blog and a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And I'll let Nancy tell you what those are.
Okay, so they're not under my name. The blog and the YouTube channel are under the name 65 Mom, which is just back in the day when I started my blog. All of the ones like surrounding that could go with my name were taken, like that I thought up to go with my name. And so then I did not plan it this way, but my sons both have 6 letters in their first name and 5 letters in their second name.
Oh, neat.
So I just said, okay, fine, 65 Mom. And magically, that one was not taken. So my blog and my YouTube are under 65 Mom. Oh, and so is my Instagram.
Oh.
But everything else is under Nancy Jo Wilson. So it's a little confusing, but I did all the cheese again.
Yay! You were supposed to. That's fine.
Okay, are
I'll
we
just
doing
let you
this
go ahead
now?
and do pepperoni. So one last question.
Yes, ma'am.
What was the ultimate inspiration for Lost in the System?
When you say the ultimate, there was actually the inspiration for the story, and then there's the inspiration for the why of the story, and those are 2 different things. The inspiration for the story was a lot of my names come from street names. I'm just, when you have a lot of characters to name, it's hard to be creative. So if I see a street sign with a cool name, I go there. And so there's a street in Jacksonville called Smullian. And I was driving down and I read that street sign and I just immediately thought, oh, he's mischievous. He is up to something. And at that particular part of Jacksonville, the roads are actually like horseshoes. So like I passed it and then I passed the name again because there's a street sign at each end. And so by the time I saw it a second time, I just had this full picture of this person who wants to do bad, but for some reason they cannot.
That's really neat.
And I had the idea for someone who was a different person every day, but I hadn't found a character I liked for it. So then that's kind of when Smullian and that story idea ran into each other, and I went, oh, he can't because he's in jail. That's why he can't do bad and be mischievous like he is. And so that was sort of how the story came about. But then the inspiration for the why was, this is hard to talk about. Not everyone who comes to the Lord comes to him on a clean path. And sometimes I think we as Christians will kind of sugarcoat it and go, well, they just need Jesus, but they don't understand like the path they had to take to get there. And Smullian has been on his own since he was 12. His mother taught him how to con, so he's been a con artist since he was a baby, literally. And so he's had this whole life. And you can't look at someone who's led the life he's lived and say, well, God loves you. Because he doesn't even know what love means. To say a statement like that to him means nothing. Because to him, love is a transaction. And other people are there for you to use and get your needs met and move on. And so I wanted to write a story where we have someone like that. And then they come face to face with a holy God. What happens? Like, what obstacles do they have to overcome to be able to accept the thought of unconditional love and of someone, Smullian's father was an alcoholic. So, yeah, who is this father person? I don't care. My father was useless. Who says you're going to be useless? So I was really wanting to explore how a person like that can come to know God.
That is awesome. I love you, Nancy.
I love you too.
She always blesses me. I don't think we ever. Oh yeah. I don't think we ever have a conversation where I don't walk away going, "Wow, I didn't think about that." It's kind of like this video. But she keeps saying, why don't you do this? Why don't we do? I'm like, yeah. Why didn't I think of that? She should totally have her own.
Yeah, we don't want me cooking. Nobody does. It would be like, I have like 5 things I can make that are good and people like, and they're all super easy, and then that would be the end of the video series. It would just be, yeah, okay.
Oh, goodness.
Nancy made apple brown Betty, and now we're done.
Speaking of which, that's really good.
Oh my goodness. I will just say, apple brown Betty, 3 ingredients. Men love it.
She's not kidding. It disappears every time she
I take it to a church thing and it disappears, and all the men are like, is there another apple brown Betty? I don't know what it is.
So if you want it, if you know it's there, you just get it before anybody else sees it.
That's right. I was going to say, though, you are always, I think that you are an encourager, because I always walk away just feeling refreshed and better about myself when I talk to you. You were just the kindest, sweetest person I know.
That's so sweet. Thank you, because honestly, that's what I want people to feel when they walk away from me. There's enough left in the world.
Exactly. I agree with you on that.
This one's easier to roll up. We should have started with this one.
It is going prettier. Last time there were tears and holes.
I think I just rolled it too thin last time. You guys, I was going with store-bought pizza dough, but they didn't have any, so I had to make my own. So that's why this just turned into a great big experiment. And I just love Nancy because she's crazy enough to go right along with me.
I love experiments. I'm always like, yeah, we'll see what happens.
You taught science, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
See? It's natural.
My degree is actually in biology education.
She ended up as a writer. Go figure.
Well, that was one of those things. I'm just going to put it out there. I am a very good girl. And so I went to the orientation at FSU. And the woman who was speaking gave this very moving speech on how you should do what's challenging, not what's easy.
Oh man, I'm so nervous.
And so science is challenging for me. English and writing are easy. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll go with the science because that's challenging. But now I found in life even, that love of words never left me, and that love of literature never left me. And although I have used the science degree in wonderful ways, it's one of those things where I'm like, I should have gone with what I was passionate about. And I have always been passionate about writing and literature. So it's just one of those things.
And it's neat that you can marry the two.
I can, absolutely.
Too neat. Look, I did it all on myself.
And it's beautiful.
I think we're going to cut this one.
We needed to practice one.
That's right. We just had to hone our skills a little bit. See, now we're professional.
That's right.
Alrighty, you guys. Are you recording? Okay. We decided in our experimental executive selves that we are going to cook this first one whole and use the other one for cutting because, ooh, I'm slinging it. It really did turn out pretty.
Roll out so nicely, yes.
And this one, I rolled thinner than that one, so maybe it'll cook better. Yeah, we'll see. I'm just gonna coat it with a little bit of olive oil. And we're going to put it in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. The oven has been preheated to 450 degrees. So when this looks good to us, we'll take it out and show you.
Yes. And I want to point out that I haven't done anything difficult. She's done all the hard stuff.
Did I keep the flour off of you?
Oh.
Almost. You leaned against the counter.
That's on me. So excited for our experiment.
Yay! Here we go.
It looks beautimous.
It looks delicious. Now, we did leave it for 19 minutes, so like I said, 15 to 20 minutes. And it's so pretty. Can you hear it?
I can hear it.
I'm excited. I'm ready to cut it. Should we let it cool for a minute? Or should we just dig right in? Let's dig in.
I mean, pizza's supposed to be gooey, right?
Yes, of course. We'll stick this in the flour. It'll be all right. You want to cut or you want me to cut?
Oh, you better cut.
Middle or end? I don't know. I don't know how to do this.
I'm gonna go for the middle.
Middle.
Again, gooey.
Mm.
Gooey is always the goal. My husband would disagree, but he's not here.
Shh, don't tell people. This piece just does not want to be eaten. That's just what it is.
Well, this is fun.
Listen, pause
The
it.
stubborn, I think I'm gonna burn my mouth on it.
Look, guys, it turned out.
Yes.
It's nice and crispy. Nancy's
Very
having
brown
trouble with
on the
hers.
bottom.
Hers is
I'm
hot.
experiencing personal problems, but it'll be fine. Okay.
Mm. You did good, Nancy.
Mmm. That's good.
See, Nancy
Yummy.
could cook. She just didn't know it.
No, I just followed directions.
Oh,
This is good.
We didn't do cheers.
Mm.
To your new book, Nancy.
My input.
Okay, so we still have to cut the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to cut this log into rolls, but while I do that, Nancy has one more part she wants
Yes.
to read.
Because if you remember from the one I read before, they had pizza and a couple of Cokes. That was an intentional addition because unfortunately I have an addiction to this.
And I knew it.
Yes, yes. If there's no Coke in the house, things are bad. So I, of course, had to write that Smullian enjoyed Coca-Cola. But I'm going to back up a little here. This is when he's in his first host. I predicted a caddy with Marvin's wallet, keys, and change would be by the front door. I am wrong. It's in the kitchen. The wallet tells me who I am for the day, Marvin Schumacher of Jacksonville, Florida. His business card confirms he is an accountant and gives me his business address. The $200 cash nestled inside brightens me up. It saves me the time of figuring out a PIN code. Not that I can spend all of it. Again, they monitor transactions. If they find spending is beyond what is necessary for the due completion of the course of the host's conventional and logical daily activities, I get more time bouncing from person to person. It is my humble opinion that regurgitating every morning for 1,000 days is punishment enough. Yes, one of the side effects of the system is that he throws up every morning. Wheat germ extract and some kind of stinking protein shake, I mutter when I open the fridge. Having to consume that would be cruel and unusual punishment. Marvin's arteries aren't going to harden in one day. I'm stopping at McD's.
McDonald's.
Yes. You might be wondering how a simple grifter like me would be able to do the conventional and logical daily activities of 1,000 different people. The exhaustive lexicon of 20th and 21st century labor practices has been downloaded onto a chip in my brain. However, I found in my 776 days so far, it's not as exhaustive as we 24th centurians think. Yak herding, for example, is not in there. And milking one of those beasts is a lot harder than you might think. However, a job does not make a person. To replace a person, really be them, takes innate creativity and spontaneity, tripping over my own words, two qualities I possess in abundance. And I just realized he doesn't mention here that he's buying a Coke, but he is.
See, you get the insider scoop. I
Totally
love
left out. I could have
hearing you
sworn he
read
was
it.
getting a McD's Coke in that section.
Maybe it's in a different part.
He does talk about how it helps soothe biotransposition, so I don't know.
Now we'll have to reread the whole book just to go find it.
The references to Coca-Cola. Hold on, this is one of the best parts.
Listen.
Are you listening?
Ah,
Yeah.
that's refreshment.
That's right.
That's your refreshment.
The best ways to drink it are in order from McDonald's and then cold canned
In the
from the
can.
fridge.
Yes, the can, not the bottle.
In the can, not the bottle, from the fridge. Those are the ways you should drink a Coca-Cola. Oh, those look so cute.
Well, they stretched a little bit as I was pulling them up.
Yeah, but they're
they'll still do.
cute.
And guys, it's football season, so these make a good
Oh, they would be great.
football night or afternoon snack or meal. I'm going to let these sit for just a few minutes just to let the dough warm up and kind of puff back up a little bit, and then we'll throw them in the oven again 15 to 20 minutes until they look brown enough for you.
I'm very curious to see how these look.
Me too. I hope they
Because
work.
they're super cute.
They might just go. We'll see.
They might, like volcanoes.
These work. These
They're
work.
so pretty. Aww.
We'll
And
have
your
to make
little
these
bowl
one day.
of marinara to dip it in. It'd be the
Yes.
perfect appetizer.
Aw, let's plate these up, and I'm going to actually get a bowl of that. Let's just see how it
Okay.
looks together.
Yes.
And then while I do that, guys, I'm going to let Nancy finish reading what she started before because she just didn't quite read far enough. She found it.
I found it because I'm compulsive, and I knew it was in there, and I realized that I stopped one paragraph short. So, along with the not so exhaustive lexicon, I was also downloaded with phraseology, jargon, and mores of 21st century Earth. This is how I learned about things like McDonald's and grande fat-free frappuccinos. Not that I drink them. A cold Coke in the morning goes a long way to soothing the after effects of biotransposition. Told you it was in there.
Yes, ma'am, you did.
I had to prove my point.
We'll be right
So
back.
sad and so compulsive.
My turn, Nancy.
All right.
Listen.
I already drank mine.
Okay, guys.
All right.
These turned out so pretty.
Look how cute these are. Okay, so we were talking about it and we decided that these are the ones when you're having the football party or the people gathered at your house and you want the appetizers. And then the one where we just cooked it without cutting it first, that's like for family fun night. Because these are definitely cuter.
Way cuter. Nancy,
Right.
thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting
This was
me.
so fun.
Okay, so and we're also using the sauce this time.
To your book, Nancy.
Yes.
Much success.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's way better.
Actually, the flavor's better this way too.
I really like that. Good job, Nancy.
Good job to you. This is yummy.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was so much fun for me getting to visit with Nancy. She stayed and we talked and we talked. I'm sorry it was a little longer than normal, but I hope it was worth it. So until we meet again, may you be blessed.